Umar Radiyullahu Anhu spent half of his life in the pre-Islamic society Jahiliyat and grew up like his peers of Quraysh, except that he had an advantage over them in that he was one of those who had learned to read, of whom there were very few. He bore responsibility at an early age and had a very harsh upbringing in which he knew no type of luxury or manifestation of wealth. His father, Al-Khattab, forced him to tend his camels. His father's harsh treatment hurt Umar Radiyullahu Anhu, which he remembered all his life. Undoubtedly, this job tending livestock, which was the constant work of Umar Radiyullahu Anhu in Makkah before he entered Islam, caused him to acquire good characteristics such as forbearance, patience, and toughness. But tending sheep was not the only work that the son of Al-Khattab did during the pre-Islamic era. From his early youth, he also excelled in many kinds of sports, such as wrestling, riding, and horsemanship. He enjoyed and narrated poetry, and he was interested in the history and affairs of his people. He was keen to attend the great fairs of the Arabs, such as Akav, Mijana, and Dhul Majaz, where he would make the most of the opportunity to engage in trade and learn the history of the Arabs and the battles and contests that had taken place among the tribes. Besides, he engaged in trade and profited, which made him one of the rich men of Mecca. He became acquainted with many people in the countries that he visited for trade. He traveled to Syria in the summer and Yemen in the winter. Thus, he occupied a prominent position in Meccan society during the pre-Islamic era and played an effective role in shaping events. He was assisted by the outstanding history of his forefathers. His grandfather Nufil bin Abdul-Azza was one to whom Quraysh referred their disputes for judgment, and his ancestor Kab was held in high esteem by the Arabs. They had recorded their history from the year of his death until the event of the elephant. Umar Radiyallahu Anhu inherited this status from his forefathers, which brought him a great deal of knowledge about the life and circumstances of the Arabs, in addition to his own smartness and intelligence, so they would come to him to resolve their disputes. Umar Radiyallahu Anhu was wise, eloquent, well-spoken, strong, tolerant, noble, persuasive, and clear of speech, which made him qualified to be an ambassador for Quraysh, to speak up for them before the other tribes. Ibn al-Jawzi said, the role of ambassador fell to Umar Radiyallahu Anhu ibn al-Khattab. If there was a war between Quraysh and another tribe, they would send him as an ambassador, and if another tribe was boasting against them, they would send him to respond in kind, and they were pleased with him. Umar Radiyallahu Anhu lived during the pre-Islamic era and knew it inside out. He knew its true nature, its customs and traditions, and he defended it with all the power he possessed. Therefore, when he entered Islam, he understood its beauty and true nature, and he recognized the great difference between guidance and misguidance, disbelief and faith, truth and falsehood, and he spoke his famous words, "The bonds of Islam will be undone one by one when there will be a generation brought up in Islam who do not know what ignorance is." Narrated in Ashur, 1998, 144.